You put your heart and soul into planning a local event, but not as many people showed up as you expected. Today, let's explore how to break through audience barriers from a behavioral economics perspective. Starting with the story of an event organizer facing this common challenge. Meet Sato, a local event organizer. He's been planning festivals and events to promote the charm of his local area for 3 years now. However, he's troubled because he can't attract as many people as he'd like.
I increased our social media promotion this year and distributed more flyers than last year. Why aren't people coming to such a fun event? The engagement on our posts isn't what I expected either. What's the problem?
The cause of Sato's problems might actually be his own cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts that our brains use when processing information. They often lead to subjective judgments, sometimes unconsciously, even in situations where objective reasoning would be more appropriate. This is a natural phenomenon that happens to everyone and influences all our judgments and decisions in daily life. Let's first look at Sato's own cognitive biases. Organizer's cognitive bias.
First, let's talk about confirmation bias.
The event I planned is sure to be fun. Everyone will be interested.
Confirmation bias is the tendency to focus only on information that supports your existing beliefs or ideas. Sato is overlooking the fact that what he finds interesting might not necessarily appeal to his target audience. Next is normalcy bias.
We had a decent turnout last year, so we'll probably get about the same number this year.
Normalcy bias is the tendency to assume that current conditions will continue unchanged, leading to an underestimation of potential disruptions or changes. However, in reality, people's interests and behaviors evolve over time. What worked last year might not work this year, requiring adaptation to new trends and circumstances. Third is status quo bias.
The same approach as last year should be fine. There's no need to change now.
Status quo bias is the tendency to avoid change and continue with existing methods. Resistance to adopting new marketing strategies is hindering innovation. Finally, there's the sunk cost fallacy.
I've already printed 3,000 flyers and put up posters, so I have to continue with this method.
The sunk cost fallacy is the tendency to persist with a strategy due to past investments of time and resources, even when evidence suggests it is no longer effective. In marketing, this can lead to delayed adoption of new audience attraction strategies, causing missed opportunities for growth. Staff's cognitive biases. After realizing his own cognitive biases, Sato analyzed his team members' thinking patterns. First, we see conformity bias.
Sato's ideas are wonderful. I think he's absolutely right.
Conformity bias is the tendency to align with the opinions of others or the majority view. The staff find it difficult to oppose Sato's opinions, creating an environment where new ideas struggle to emerge. We can also observe a tendency toward groupthink.
We've always done things this way, so this method should work best.
Groupthink is a phenomenon where critical thinking is suppressed to maintain group harmony, resulting in uniform thinking. Because the team has worked together for a long time, they've developed fixed ideas about how we do things, preventing them from incorporating external perspectives or new methods. Participants' cognitive biases.
So, both my staff and I were influenced by cognitive biases. I need to understand the cognitive biases of the participants too.
There are 3 stages before someone participates in an event. First, the awareness stage when they learn about the event. Next, the decision-making stage when they decide to attend. Finally, the action stage when they actually participate. Different cognitive biases influence each stage. Let's first look at the biases that operate when people become aware of an event. The first is information overload. People are exposed to enormous amounts of information daily. On social media, new information constantly flows in, so seeing something just once doesn't leave an impression. It's important to utilize the mere exposure effect and ensure people see your information multiple times.
I see, a single post gets buried. I need to share information regularly with different angles.
The second is attention bias. People tend to focus only on information relevant to themselves. Simply using the term community festival might not make everyone feel it's relevant to them. It's important to use keywords that resonate with specific target audiences.
I should have used phrases like must see for parents or pets welcome that really speak to my target audience.
The third is the affect heuristic. People tend to remember emotionally charged information more vividly, and they are more influenced by messages that evoke emotions rather than data or facts. This is why emotional appeals are often more persuasive.
Instead of simply, community festival happening, I should have used expressions that appeal to emotions. Like, the excitement returns, or, create family memories.
The fourth is nostalgia bias. People are strongly drawn to things that evoke good memories or feelings of nostalgia. Nostalgia bias is particularly powerful for community events.
Right, I see it now. Something like, remember that summer festival vibe? Or, all those classic food stands are back, or even, where old school traditions meet today's fun. That kind of nostalgic stuff would have really hit home.
Now, let's look at the biases that operate when people decide to attend an event. First is loss aversion bias. People have a stronger psychological desire to avoid losses than to gain something. When applied to event attendance, this means creating a sense that missing out on the event is a loss they would regret.
I should have created a sense of urgency with compelling offers like exclusive gifts for the first 100 attendees or one-time only immersive experience you'll regret missing.
Next is social proof. People tend to reference the behavior of others when unsure what to do. It's important to make people think, if everyone is going, I should go too.
I should have leveraged social proof more effectively with compelling announcements like, breaking news mayor confirmed, or, last year's event reached capacity with 500 attendees, secure your spot early.
Third is scarcity bias. People tend to value rare items or limited opportunities. Creating a sense of exclusivity increases the desire to participate.
I should have emphasized limited availability with phrases like premium seating limited to 100 guests, reserve early to guarantee your spot. This creates a sense of scarcity without being overwhelming, encouraging people to make timely decisions about attending.
The fourth is group identity. People naturally gravitate toward activities where they feel a sense of belonging and shared purpose. By crafting messages that tap into existing community connections like, join fellow residents in celebrating our town's heritage, or connect with other parents in our supportive community, you create powerful social motivation. These targeted invitations acknowledge people's valued identities and offer meaningful opportunities to strengthen those connections.
I understand now. By highlighting specific community affiliations like, local parent-teacher association members will be there, or, neighborhood senior club is attending in full force, we create immediate recognition and belonging. When people see groups they identify with participating, they're much more likely to themselves. It transforms the event from a generic gathering into a meaningful community connection.
Finally, let's look at the biases that operate when people actually attend the event on the day. First is inertia bias. People naturally resist changing their physical state and expending energy. The comfortable feeling of, I'd rather just relax at home, becomes a significant barrier to event participation, even for events they genuinely want to attend.
I should have created systems that make it easy to participate, like providing free shuttle buses or holding the event close to where people live.
Next is the planning fallacy. People tend to be optimistic about future schedules. Even if they think they'll surely have time on that day, they might actually have other plans or preparations might take longer than expected.
I should have created a pre-registration system and sent reminder emails the day before.
And then there's commitment and consistency. People tend to follow through on actions they've publicly declared. Having them publicly express their intention to participate increases actual participation rates.
I should have created a dedicated social media group for the event, provided a place for participants to interact beforehand, had them press a participate button on social media, or created mechanisms for them to invite friends.
The peak end rule is also important. People evaluate experiences based on the most memorable moment peak and the final moment end. Preparing impressive experiences at the climax and end of the event is effective for increasing repeat visitors for the next event.
So if I prepare an emotional finale video or a surprise performance by all performers at the end of the event, people would think I want to come again.
New strategy using cognitive biases.
Everyone, our previous promotional strategies didn't take into account the cognitive biases of both ourselves and the participants. From today, let's develop new strategies that incorporate these psychological perspectives.
Indeed, we've been planning based only on our own preferences.
If we think from the participant's point of view, we can definitely come up with different approaches.
Sato and his team created a new promotional strategy utilizing their knowledge of behavioral economics. In the decision-making stage, they actively promoted exclusive gifts for the first 100 attendees and participant testimonials. leveraging loss aversion bias and social proof. They also emphasized scarcity with special events once a year. In the action stage, they arranged free shuttle buses, implemented pre-registration and day before reminders, and created a system for participants to declare their attendance on social media. Finally, they prepared a moving finale for the event. And then came the day of the next event. The venue was overflowing with more people than expected.
Unbelievable. I never expected so many people would come. The effect of appealing to nostalgia and community bonds was greater than I anticipated.
When I saw gifts limited to the first 100 visitors on social media, I knew I absolutely had to come.
My friends said they were coming, so I decided to join too. I'll definitely be back next year.
Summary. By understanding cognitive biases and using them strategically, Mr. Sato's event was a great success.
Knowledge of behavioral economics became a powerful weapon to overcome the challenges of attracting attendees to local events. By understanding people's psychology, our messages were able to reach them effectively.
Your event might also change significantly by understanding the psychology of your participants. Make cognitive biases your ally and make your next event a success. Research shows that simply telling children to study has limited effectiveness. But how can we foster intrinsic motivation for learning? In the next episode, we'll explore scientifically proven motivation techniques tailored to different age groups. From trophies outperforming cash rewards for elementary schoolers to the power of loss aversion for middle schoolers, we'll break down how cognitive biases, reinforcement mechanisms, and social influences shape learning behavior. Stay tuned. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you'd like to learn more practical solutions using behavioral economics, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. New videos are released every Friday at 6 p.m.